Kelly Shaw with the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. I'm along Dead Creek River. I don't know why they call it a river. It looks more like a creek. But we're about a half a mile from the ghost town of Deadwood. And this ghost town of Deadwood, it was abandoned by miners in the 40s. And then it was about 1996, the summer of 96, a logging crew used the ghost town as a base camp. As a matter of fact, 3 of the buildings they used to camp in. Well, anyway, one of the workers for the logging crew, it was a helicopter logging crew, he ran the water truck. And he's one of a group of 3 sightings that happened in 24 hours, and his was a lone sighting. It happened at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I believe I'm in the exact spots, if I got my directions right. But he pulled up to here at 3 in the morning to fill up the water truck and bring it back, and he had a spotlight going. Had a spotlight in the water so that he could see his pump and his hose while he was filling the truck. Well, anyway, he got this overwhelming feeling that something was watching him, and he could also smell something that reeked, something rank, a rotten type smell. And so he started looking around, and he threw his spotlight on a creature across the river, and it was staring at him from behind a tree. Then it takes off to another tree, and it actually was coming closer to him from tree to tree, watching him. A large hairy figure about 8 feet tall. After it observed him and went from tree to tree for a few seconds, he got in the water truck and tore off out of there. And the very next morning he resigned. And this is a grown man that had done this job for years. They said he was a very reliable, responsible employee. And this Bigfoot sighting scared him into quitting. Full-grown man. So he's one of 5 people in a 24-hour period that saw Bigfoot in or around this ghost town of Deadwood. So yeah, take a look at beautiful Deadwood. I'm going to pick up the camera, let you guys look around. This place I consider a Bigfoot hotspot. There is more Bigfoot sightings around here than the ones that I'm going to be telling you guys that come from this ghost town by the logging crew. So I consider this place a Bigfoot sighting hotspot. All 3 separate encounters, everybody described a very dark or black figure about 8 feet tall. And just about every one of the incidences I recall, it was hiding from tree to tree, and they would see the entire figure as it was going from tree to tree. Yeah, I believe in the Sawtooth Mountains, are very close to the Sawtooth National Forest. Alright, well, we're going to bring you some more sighting reports. Keep on watching, because we're going to keep on squatching.
In late October 2020, the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization received a remarkable video from Logan Canyon, Utah. The witness said he and his son were driving through a well-known rifle hunting area when they noticed a dark figure moving along a creek bed. At first, he assumed it was another hunter, but the all-brown appearance didn't make sense during rifle season, when wearing blaze orange is required. Unable to stop because of a scheduled meeting, they left the area, but returned a few days later to take a closer look. Working alongside the witnesses, the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch team compared the figure's size using a 6-foot, 200-pound man as a reference. Based on their field estimates, they concluded the unknown figure stood between 7 and 8 feet tall and appeared nearly twice as broad as the comparison subject. While Sasquatch is most often associated with North America, reports of similar creatures have surfaced in Australia for decades. One of the leading groups investigating these encounters is the Australian Yowie Research Group. On April 2, 2012, a 4-member team headed into the Gold Coast hinterland for a field expedition. 2 days later, they established camp inside Springbrook National Park. Shortly before midnight, researcher Duke Bingham stepped away from camp to test a newly acquired thermal camera. Moments later, he radioed the team after spotting what looked like a large head peeking from behind a tree stump about 50 meters away. As he zoomed in, he realized there were actually 2 massive heat signatures. He briefly stopped recording to adjust the camera's zoom, but by the time he was ready again, both figures had vanished into the darkness without a sound. Following Duke's directions, the team returned to the location and identified where both he and the unknown figures had been standing. Using the surrounding vegetation for scale, they estimated the creature's height at roughly 8 to 9 feet. Despite years of dedicated research, one of the most compelling Sasquatch encounters may have come from an ordinary couple by pure chance. On August 8, 2013, Bill and Wendy of Gulf Island Rock were driving home from Port Renfrew, Canada, when they decided to stop for a short hike. About 200 feet into the forest, they noticed a large, hairy figure nearly 100 feet away. Bill initially assumed it was a bear searching for food, but its unusually broad, block-shaped head immediately caught his attention. As soon as the creature began to move, the couple quickly turned around and left the area. Your take on the night before Halloween in 2013. Brothers John and Joel Brown were sitting outside the rural property in Washington when they heard a light tapping sound coming from directly behind them. By that point, this kind of strange activity had been going on for over a year, believing it might be Sasquatch related. The brothers had borrowed a thermal camera from researchers at the Olympic Society, so they were ready when the knocking started. John immediately began scanning the field with the camera, and beyond, the bellowing herd of cows in the neighboring pasture noticed a distinct heat signature. Unsure of how to operate the device properly, John handed the camera over to Joel. By the time Joel started recording, however, the figure had already shifted position and was now about 120 feet away, with its upper half peeking over a ridge. Using a scale pole as a reference, researchers later estimated the subject to be at least 7 feet tall and nearly 4 feet wide. While some suggested the figure could have been a cow, that theory quickly faced criticism, as a cow's ears are typically visible on thermal footage, and none could be seen in this case. For nearly 3 decades, The researcher known as timber giant Bigfoot has dedicated his life to searching for one of the world's greatest mysteries. After recording thousands of hours of footage, only a few minutes are believed to show some of the strongest evidence ever captured. On September 15, 2013, while exploring the forests of southern Ontario, he heard a series of strange stone knocks echoing through the trees. Following the sound, he eventually spotted a massive reddish figure standing roughly 100 feet away, partially concealed by the dense forest.
Holy shit. Where's the... Oh, come on, it's right there. I have my glasses on. Look at that. Holy. Dinosaurs making noise. Oh crap, I lost it. There you go. I'm pretty sure that was the thing that was making the noise. I'm seeing it now. I think that's it. Oh, cameras everywhere. Oh, look at that. What the hell am I looking at? I'm trying to... looking down there, I don't see it at all with my eye, but I can kind of see it on the screen. It's gone now. There it is. Holy. I'm guessing it's probably... Oh, it's over here. It's probably like, I don't know, 150 feet away. But right up the tree. I can't go behind the trees, I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Shit. Look at that. I can see it. It looks really dark in that. When I'm looking at it, it looks quite red on the camera. Wait a minute. Oh, where is it? Where's it? Oh, look at this. Holy.
Tennessee resident Scott Carpenter was a passionate outdoorsman, an amateur Sasquatch researcher, known for his unusual investigations. Although most of his recordings failed to convince skeptics, one video from 2012 continues to attract attention. Filmed with his phone's rear camera, it appears to show a strange white figure crouched behind thick vegetation. On its own, the footage may not seem extraordinary, but considering Carpenter's long history of searching for Sasquatch, many viewers find it far more compelling. While mainstream researchers view Bigfoot as a flesh and blood creature, a small group of enthusiasts believe it may be something more unusual, or even supernatural. One YouTuber who has explored and supported this controversial idea is wildlife photographer Angie Saji. Since 2008, she has kept a detailed diary of alleged Sasquatch activity on her property, though she only shares select clips she believes are authentic. The most unusual of these recordings was captured on January 15, 2016, when Angie was outside walking with her phone. Interestingly, this is not the only clip that appears to show a Sasquatch moving at extraordinary speed, adding yet another layer of mystery to an already puzzling phenomenon.
In the image, a jet-black humanoid figure stands covered in coarse, rugged hair. The fur looks uneven, straggly in some places, thick in others, similar to what you'd expect from a wild animal surviving in harsh conditions. What's confusing many viewers is that it doesn't match the typical Sasquatch description. It appears smaller, thinner, leading some cryptozoologists to suggest this could be a female. Even so, the figure still shows a powerful build, broad shoulders, and a thick torso and chest, and strong, muscular legs. But the most unsettling detail is its face. Despite the darkness limiting visibility, certain features still stand out. An unusually large nose and a slightly open mouth. The overall shape of the face almost resembles that of a Neanderthal. Notice how the hair becomes thicker and more uneven around the head. These small inconsistencies, along with subtle facial details, add to the realism. Unlike some alleged Bigfoot images where the creature looks almost too clean or staged, this one appears raw, untamed, like something that has truly been surviving deep in the wild. As always, if more information surfaces about this image, I'll be sure to update you. But for now, we're left with the same lingering questions. Who captured this photo? Where was it taken? And what's the full story behind it? Is the image clear enough to speak for itself? And if it is, are we looking at reality or something carefully constructed? The following is another clear Bigfoot capture. It remains highly mysterious, with no background details at all, but the HD image might speak for itself. It was taken from inside a moving car, driving along a heavily forested back road, when something massive was spotted standing right at the edge of the trees. The driver slammed on the brakes, and the passenger quickly turned and captured this now infamous photo. A surprisingly clear one. Have you ever driven down a dark forest road, thinking something could step out at any moment? Encounters like this are actually some of the most common. They happen in that in-between space, late at night, headlights cutting through the trees, just enough visibility to notice something off. There have been similar reports before. In Arkansas, multiple witnesses claim to see a large, hairy creature near rural roads, sightings that even inspired the legend of Boggy Creek. In Oregon, a driver once described seeing a tall, dark figure standing between trees, watching the car pass before quietly disappearing back into the forest. This photo follows that same pattern, brief, unexpected, and deeply unsettling. And that's why many believe this one might actually be real. But do you? While flying over a dense forest, this person captured something unbelievable. A large, dark figure can be seen moving quickly through the trees, its long arms swinging low, almost touching the ground. Within seconds, it disappears deep into the forest. So what exactly was captured that day? Could it have been Bigfoot?